Hi, this is Rick Marshall from Vertical Geo, and welcome to our training video on QGIS. This is QGIS video number 1, Digitizing a Line Feature. We're going to offer several videos that go through and teach people how to use QGIS. It's very easy to use. It performs most of the basic functions of ArcGIS, only it doesn't cost any money at all. It's free, open source software. ArcGIS costs thousands of dollars. QGIS is absolutely free. Today we'll be using QGIS version 2.18, also called Las Palmas. And we will include the QGIS project website and the download location in the video description on YouTube below. What we're going to do today is create a line feature. You can see in my map here, I've been working all the way from Illinois to California on a Route 66 map. And it's time now to go ahead and digitize Route 66 as it enters California and goes all the way to Santa Monica. And I want to show you the process, the workflow that we go through to digitize a route or a road in QGIS. It's a very easy process, one that almost anybody can do. It just takes a little bit of training and for somebody to show you how to do it. So the first thing we do in QGIS is we want to zoom to the area that we're interested in working. And so QGIS has a zoom in button up here on the top, and we'll click on that and use the cursor to zoom in on an area. I left off right where Route 66 enters or finishes Arizona, and we're going to begin where Route 66 enters California, the same spot. We're going to use a scale of about 1 to 5,000. We'll see if that's a good looking scale to be able to digitize the route. QGIS also has a pan function up here. I'll click on the icon that looks like a hand and be able to pan around the map. So we're going to pan down here to the bottom right where we enter or find the last spot where we left off. Here's where I left off Route 66, right here at the California-Arizona border. It just so happens that at this spot, Route 66 and Interstate 40 are the same location. You can see down here at the bottom of the map, there's an Old Trails Bridge. I imagine this was the original Route 66 bridge. The road is a dirt road for many places out west. And on both sides of the Colorado River, which is the border between Arizona and California, it's a dirt road there also. And I'm digitizing my road so that anybody in a normal family car can drive it. So we're not really doing dirt roads. So for this portion of the route, for at least the next couple of miles, we'll be using I-40. Okay, so we opened QGIS. You'll choose a base map to work from. In this case, we're going to use Google's hybrid imagery map that has both imagery on it, and it also has location identification on there so that the roads are labeled and the bridges are labeled and the highlighted items along the way, unique places show up on the imagery also. Helps create a good situational awareness. So we've zoomed into the area we want to digitize. We're going to go ahead and create a shape file to digitize to. So we'll come up here to the very top, and there's a layers drop-down list or a layers menu. We'll click on the layers menu and select create a layer, create a new shapefile layer. And this opens up a dialog box. We can choose between a point, a line, or a polygon. I'm going to choose the line. I'm not really going to collect any attributes for the line. So this is really as much as we have to do to create the shape file. All I need to do now is to tell it where to save it. So if I click on OK, it opens up a Save Layer As dialog box, and I will go through here. I've got on my computer, I've created a folder containing shape files. I've got one for each of the states that Route 66 goes through, and I want to save the Route 66 road shapefile in this California folder. I have a naming convention I use, but you can call it whatever you want. So what I've been using route _ 66 _ the state name _ road _ WGS 84, which is the projection that it is in. That's all you have to do. You hit save, and it will create this new shapefile for you, and it puts it at the top of the layer list in your layers panel. I'm going to drag that to the very last layer that I'm working on, other than my imagery, just because I like to do things that way. So I've got it down here. Okay, so I've got that layer in my layers panel. There's a couple things I want to do before I digitize. I will open up the properties box. So I've been using a dark blue color for my road layer. So I picked that dark blue color, and I think I've been using a width of 3. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to add snapping. So while I have my layer selected, if I come up to the top and click on settings, snapping options, what this allows us to do is when you start a new line, if you want to connect it to an old line, if it's within a few, in this case 2 pixels, it will put the point you are trying to establish right on top of the existing point. So in this instance, the current layer will snap to a vertex. We can select all visible layers, which is probably, let's do that one. The tolerance is 2 pixels. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start digitizing. We have the Route 66 California road layer selected. We'll come up to the top and click on our editing button, so we'll toggle the editing on. 2 buttons to the right is an add feature icon. We'll click on that, and we will zoom in a little bit farther. Looks like I've zoomed in farther than the imagery will allow us to go. And we'll start collecting, but I think in this case, I also want to highlight my previous root layer and turn it on for editing, and that way the points will show up as we go to collect. Well, I don't see them showing up, so we'll just start collecting from here. When you are within those 2 pixels and the snapping is working, that turns the area inside your cursor pink. And so we're going to continue there, and we're going to continue on Route 66 westbound. So the way you digitize is you just continue to go along your route, showing where you believe the route is going. You can do this a couple of different ways. I'm going to zoom back out to 5,000, 1 to 5,000 scale, because we've already snapped the two lines together, and so I don't need to be quite as accurate, and we'll continue to use Interstate 40 westbound as a route we're digitizing for Route 66. When you get to the end of your extent on your map, you can either right click or you can either go up and select the pan function, or you can actually select the wheel in the middle of your mouse and drag, and that will allow you to pan also without having to switch tools. So in this case, we are going to continue. I've gone to a 1 to 10,000 scale, so you can use that same wheel on your mouse to zoom in and out. So I'm going to zoom into the 5,000 scale again and continue to digitize. It's a very easy process. I'm going to do it just a little bit farther here, and I'll show you how to finish up. I'm going to do it to the next exit. As long as the road is straight and you're pretty happy with the way that your digitization works, you can make your distance between clicks as far as you want to go. Going through the California inspection station there, agricultural inspection station. Okay, so we're coming up on the area where I want to exit Interstate 40. And get back on the unique Route 66. And I'm going to stop it right there. That's far enough to show you how we do digitizing. So I've come this far, and you can see it's still, I could click on farther and do more digitizing. But when you get to the point where you want to stop, if you right click, a dialog box comes up and it says feature attributes ID, and you can either individually name what you just did or just click OK, and it will save it that section that you've done without a name. I'm going to click OK, and it saved my Route 66. You can see it here is the blue line, and I'm going to go back and change my properties because it is way too wide. The width should have been, I see what the problem is. I had it in 3 millimeters. It should have been 3 pixels. So you can go back and change that anytime you want. Okay, so I've completed my section of the route. If I come up here to the Save Layer Edits, it will save the portion I just did. I've done that. Now it's saved to the data. The shapefile is saved to my computer. That should be all complete. I know you can import the properties. You could import the style and the labels, any of those things from previous layers by clicking on Style, save style or load style. But in this case, I'm just going to keep it the way it is. So I'm going to exit out of that. And I'm also going to, when I clicked on my save layer properties or save layer edits, it saved the edits I just made to the shape file. But I also want to save where I'm at in my current map so that the next time I open it up, it comes to right this spot. So I'm going to go ahead and click on save for my current map also. That's how you create a shape file for a line, or create a line feature, digitize a line feature in QGIS. We will have another video in a couple of days on how to digitize points features in QGIS. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this video helped you. Please leave comments. And if you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you very much.